Hi, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. My name is Peter Loshak. His name is Jimmy the Bag. This is the Loshak in the Bag show for Thursday afternoon, May 3rd.
Yes.
May 3rd. I didn't even check to see how the day games in MLB went for us, Jim.
They're going okay.
Yeah?
Yes, they're going okay. The Braves won 11-0, so I hit that.
And I hit the over on that one. Nice.
Yes, very nicely. Fading Vargas was too easy. Ground fruit,
Yes.
you could say.
Yeah.
Then I hit with the Cleveland Indians team total over, but they are losing 8-7 right now. But they have 2 runners on and 1 out in the 7th.
Okay.
And then there's only been 3 runs scored in this Dodgers-Arizona game at the top of the 7th, moving on to the bottom of the 7th. So I'm a little worried there.
Okay, yeah, wow, look at that. So the Toronto-Cleveland game is I need just one more run for the second half over to cash. Let me see, Pittsburgh-Washington, the second half over cashed on that one. Look at that. I had that one, Jim.
Yeah.
Nice, even though that was a 3-1. Mets game went over, and the second half cashed on that one, too. Wow, look at that. Look at that.
you.
And then I also had the Yankees. Wow, I knew it. Yep. Wow, all right, the Yankees won, but I had the Yankees second half, which lost. But all right, so it was a winning day for me so far. In MLB. Not bad, not bad. Wow, the Yankees won again, but they just couldn't pull out they were up 3-0. Man, all right, okay. So everything's looking pretty interesting, and everything's looking uptight and all right, as they used to say. You remember when they used to say that, Jim?
I have no recollection of that whatsoever.
That was before my time, also. But yeah, it's definitely a cool thing to say. And you did your derby video, Jim. I heard
did
that.
do my
Yeah.
derby
How'd that
video.
go?
It's hard to say. Hard to say. And I just tried to, because I could talk about it for 2 hours. So I tried to keep it tight and do it. And I'm also focusing on straight exactors rather than triactors. And I'm not, because of the beating I've taken the last 8 days. I have to put all of my whole roll on the one race. I can't do the pick 3s, pick 4s, and the Kentucky Oaks Derby double. But I feel good. I got $449 of betting ready to make on my HBI bet count.
Okay. All right. Very nice. Let's see. What else do we have? Other comments here. Richard West saying that Texas looking better and better every hour. Come on, Texas, less cash. Richard West was saying that he liked Texas as an underdog tonight going up against Boston and Price.
Yeah.
And I have the under on that one. And Jim wound up tailing me on that one. And Jim wound up taking the first 5 as well. Didn't you, Jim?
I did. I did. Juicy Toast saying nice things. Man, Juicy Toast, great horse handicapper. He sent me some really interesting stuff. And big shout out, Juicy Toast. Man, let me know what your home track is. I really want to run with you, man.
Right.
But this is exciting. This is a very exciting week. I'm pumped. And the day started okay. Started great for you.
Yeah. Not bad. I didn't even. I was just zoning out the entire day. I didn't even have a chance to look at the Tillman Angels game, which it's a 10 o'clock Eastern time start. So if there is a play that I absolutely have to add to my record on that one, I'll tweet it out. But as far as the rest of the games are concerned, we do have Boston against Texas going tonight, and that one I took the under. And Jim, you took what, the first 5 innings under?
Let me go over it again. Sorry, just answering a couple of things.
That's
there.
okay. I don't remember whether you took the first half under, and I took
just the first half under.
Yeah.
I was worried about the bullpen.
That's right. And I'll pull it up. I think I definitely took the full game under. I might have doubled up. I think I doubled up with the first half under as well. And I was leaning Texas, and Richard West likes Texas also. White Sox and Minnesota. I had a very slight lean to the under on that one, but Jim had a stronger lean, so Jim took that one and also took the first 5 innings under on that one as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and Jim also made a controversial play on Oakland and Seattle, and that one is controversial because, of course, Manaea is pitching great right now, yet there's been strong line movement in favor of Seattle. Jim grabbed Oakland, though, and he took them at minus 107 in the morning show, which is right where it is right now. So we've got an interesting small slate of games in MLB for tonight's card for the evening, and what would you like to say? Would you like to add any plays, Jim? Any comments coming in that are interesting?
Yeah, our man Elio Rodriguez is at the Gulfstream Poker Room right now watching us.
Shout out to Elio Rodriguez.
Yeah, what a great guy. And, very exciting stuff. Very, very, very exciting stuff. And Elio ready to rock and run with me on the Derby. Ace Farmer asking if I saw the Magic and Good Magic. I think Good Magic is you're going to get a ton of value at 12-1. But I'm taking Justify. I'm taking Justify to break the curse. And I'm not making any win bets, just exotics, and we'll see how it goes.
Okay, let's see. All right, so let me see. So in MLB, so comments coming in. We're scanning comments. All right, yeah, it's kind of a relaxed card today. I'm just relaxing myself here. Jimmy the Bag. You took the Baltimore and the Angels over, though. I remember that one, didn't you? You took the over 9 on that one.
I did.
Yeah, I did not look into that one. I will look into that one a little bit more this evening. I just was too tired this afternoon. That one did not have an overnight line, so I didn't look at that one. All right, I'll pull up our official picks to remind us exactly what we took and at what odds. And is there anything that you want to add from tonight's MLB card?
Not really. I feel very comfortable. I was thinking clearly this morning, and I'm happy I've gotten off to a winning start, even though it could end up being I could end up firing 500. Although I don't trust fires, and I don't know why I didn't take at least the Kansas City team total over. And so I think I left some money on the table there. But I'm comfortable with where we stand. I think I got. I'm a little concerned with doubling up on the under in the Odorizzi Lopez spot, but when I capped that game, I was surprised that they were hanging a 9 and giving me plus on that.
And in the meantime, maybe a repeat of last night. Everyone coming in saying they're liking the Pens, Jim. Maybe it's good, maybe it's not. Scotty Rock forever. I think Pens smash too. Al Pacino's on the Pens. Everyone's on the Pens. Scotty Rock forever going ham with the Pens. A lot of people. We haven't even started talking about NHL yet, but I'm seeing a lot of Pens action and opinions coming in.
And a new commenter, Frank Sauve. What up, Frank Sauve? He says, first time chatter. How about a shout out to the Sioux Greyhounds?
Okay.
And they deserve it, man.
Shout out to the Sioux Greyhounds.
They deserve it. Canadian junior hockey, they're an excellent hockey team. And Sault Ste. Marie needs that kind of love, man. I've been to Sault Ste. Marie. You know, there's a Sault Ste. Marie America on the American side right across the bridge.
Really?
Really? Sault Ste. Marie in America, Sault Ste. Marie in Canada. But thank you for joining us, Frank.
Tom Marino, Tomor. I'm on Pittsburgh. First period at -0.5 goal plus 152. Here we go. Native Queen has officially joined us, and Native Queen is here. Cavs first quarter. Cavs first quarter. So we will. 55. So I assume she means over, not Cavs plus the points. Okay, Native Queen like in the Cavs first quarter, and then she said 55. So I assume that means over. Probably, unless she means under. I don't know. We have a comment from Native Queen. Cavs first quarter, and then 55, and then 55. All right. Carlos Smith says Queen have spoken, which she has. Not entirely 100% clear what play she's on, but she has definitely spoken officially. Cavs first quarter and 55 are the only words we have from Native Queen as of right now. Okay. Let me see. Let me just review in MLB. Yes. Okay. So I'm on the Boston, Texas. I went with the first 5 under with you officially. So I'm on Boston, Texas. First 5 under 5 plus 110, and the full game under 9.5 minus 110. Minnesota White Sox under 9 at plus 102, and that's it for the for me so far in the evening show. And Jim is on Oakland.
Native Queen's on the under 55.
Okay. Very important to clarify.
Yes.
Under 55 first quarter. Native Queen is on the under first quarter 55 in the Cavs game. Jim also is on Dodgers Arizona. Oh wait, Dodgers Arizona, was that an afternoon game, right?
That's on right now. And it's not looking very good.
Right.
2-1 in the bottom of the 7th.
That's right. So
Jim, the bullpens to fall apart.
Jim's on the Minnesota White Sox game, first 5 under and the full game under. Jim is on, Boston, Texas, first half under only at 5 plus 110. Baltimore Angels over 9 minus 120. And again, the Oakland game money line minus 107.
Damo has asked both of us, how confident are we in the first 5 under in Boston versus Texas?
Not super confident. It's just, I looked at that play. All right, I'll explain to you the whole evolution of these plays. Who's that, Dymo?
Yeah.
I handicapped this card last night, only the games that had overnight lines. So I didn't get a chance to look at the Baltimore Angels game, and I passed on the Toronto-Cleveland one. But I looked at that one, and I said, you know what? I'm going to be a believer in Price here that he has a little bit of a better game than what he's shown recently. I'm going to be a believer that Minor can have a decent start, and I'm going to take a shot with the full game under 9.5. And I bet that one, and I came in here intending just to give the full game under 9.5. Then people were talking about the Texas bullpen, that they don't like the Texas bullpen, and Jim decided to take the first 5 innings under, and I decided to double up on that one as well. I took the first 5 innings under. No real reason. I think I would actually be liking the full game under a little bit more at 9.5, but I decided to double up on it, and I would also have a lean to Texas as a home dog, which is seems to be strongly endorsed by Richard West, a commenter with some sneaky sharp opinions here and there in the comment section. You know what I'm saying? When Richard West is against me, I really don't like to see that. And when he's going the same way that I'm leaning, I'm usually doubling my chances of making that an official pick. And I might still give Texas as an official pick, but that is the evolution of that one. I like the full game under. It was one I was definitely going to give last night, and I wound up doubling up on it when Jim decided to go on the first half only on that one. So it could lose, but I like it. I mean, I bet it, you know?
I like it too. I only did the first 5 just because the Rangers bullpen not only is poor, but it's being used heavily. And it concerns me that they won't pull Minor early, which we've seen happen to a couple different teams in the last 24 hours. But 4.33 ERA, 1.15 WHIP. He's looked great this year, better than I expected him to look. Price got lit up on his last start versus Tampa. But I think he can. This is not a tough lineup that the Rangers have. And another key to this play is the Red Sox, although now it's a little better, are still hitting lefties awful. 217 with a 619 OPS. And the Rangers aren't hitting him well, they're hitting a fine average, I guess, 241, but 717 OPS, very low. So I like the spot. I definitely do.
Kobe Valentine says 81% of the public is on Boston. Fade the public. I'll take Texas. Once again, I'm leaning Texas as well. Let's see. Other comments here. Kobe saying, let's go Raptors. Yeah. Up. Gate Pass Key says everyone on Pens. Fuck, it makes me uncomfortable, especially with Murray's suspect glove side.
Yes, but we don't lose every bet that we're all on. Right? It's just
I haven't been tracking it.
But I mean, I know that we don't lose every. But it's not like we're hitting 30% on our bets that we're all on the same side. So we just lost one yesterday. I would not be surprised if we hit it today.
Okay, I don't even know. Oh yes, I forgot actually that the Cavs game already started. It did already start, Jim. That's right, because it was a 6 o'clock Eastern time start. So we won't be able to analyze.
Oh my God.
That. Yeah, I forgot. I forgot about that. I mean, it started at before the show even started.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's right. So Jim is on first quarter, first half, first full game.
I've got a lot on it. Okay. I need this.
All right, maybe I'll throw in the second half line should be out at about 7:05 Eastern time or something like that. So maybe I'll wind up giving a second half pick on this one at the very, very end of the show. Although I don't know how we're going to get there because there's not a whole lot to talk about. We've already pretty much done MLB. Maybe you can give a little bit of a wrap up of a review of what you talked about in your Derby video.
Oh, I would love that.
Okay, but is there anything else we want to mention in MLB before we move on to NHL, which is going to be a highly controversial segment tonight because we all got burned last night. Seems like we're all going the same way again. Jim, anything else you want to add on MLB?
Just that I made the bet. I put $300 on the Nats to win the division at plus 130. I like the spot, and I want to thank Tomor for that. So Tomor has now given me 2 plays that I'm in love with. He gave me the Cubs to win the division when it was at minus 125. It's minus 160 now. And he gave me this Nats to win the division at plus 130. So shout out to Tomarino Tomor. And I really think he's going to put money in my pocket.
Okay, let's see. Mally Mal with an opinion on the Pens game, and he says, Pens won't go down 3-1. Big win tonight. Mally Mal's on the Pens. Everyone's on. Here we go again. Let's move on to NHL. Jimmy the Bag. All right. Well, in the morning show, Jimmy and I both took the Pens. I took them -1. Jim took them on the puck line at plus 170. And last night, of course, everyone was on the Bruins. Not everyone. Most people were on the Bruins except for Ulysses Hayes, notably, and even Mally Mal was on Tampa Bay first period. Few people were on Tampa Bay, but it seemed like everyone was on the Bruins, and of course we lost. Feels like the same thing's going on tonight with the Pens. What do you think, Jim? Feeling nervous, or you think it's going to be okay?
Tom Wilson is everything you'd want in a hockey player. He's absolutely incredible. I was actually I was in Windsor one night, and I was at the Keg in Windsor, and a brother and sister sat beside me, a few younger than me, obviously, and we started drinking, and the sister told me that they went to high school with Tom Wilson, and that her dad would go to Tom Wilson's hockey games, and that's all he talked about. All he talked about was Tom Wilson, the kind of player he is. And he's the kind of player you dream about having in the playoffs.
Dream about.
Truly.
Wow.
Truly. He's absolutely perfect.
So it's a huge loss.
It is a huge loss. He's so tough. He's so fast. You have to keep an eye on for every time he's on the ice. Now you can relax a little bit. Know that you won't get your jaw broken by Tom Wilson. It's just huge. It's absolutely huge to lose him for 3 games. Huge. So I feel great. Now the Pens got to get their power play rolling. They got to keep the Caps off the power play. And Holtby is out playing Murray. That's unacceptable. Murray's got to step up. And, The Pens were 30-9 at home during the regular season, 39-2, and the Caps were barely over 500, 21-15-5. Tom Wilson is, every team is searching for a Tom Wilson, and it's in the playoff. When you have to face him every second night, that's when he's even more dangerous. I think this is a great spot.
All right. Well, the line actually has moved even up just a little bit from the morning. Once again, in the morning show, Pittsburgh, the best line was about -170. Now the best line would be 175. It's up to 178 at Pinnacle. So even from the morning, it is creeping up just a little bit, despite the huge favorite line. So that's certainly very interesting there. Everyone seems to be liking Pittsburgh here. I'm taking it. Jim's taking it. A whole bunch of other people taking it. Let's see if anything's coming on. Comments on here. Let's see. Up and Gate Pass Key says Jets puck line is a more comfy play than the Pens for me. I did take the Jets -1 as well. So if both of them win, but only won by 1 goal, I will still have a profitable day. Let's talk about the other game. Jimmy the Bag. Questions about Pekka Rinne. Questions about how good or overvalued are the Predators, and of course probably the most high profile guy slamming the Preds a little bit since the beginning of the playoffs has been Mohamed Joma, calling them sloppy, calling them overrated. Yeah. What's so funny?
No, it's just Mohamed Joma's been shitting all over them, man.
Well, it hasn't been terrible advice to follow so far. They've gotten their wins, but they've gotten their losses. And tonight, a lot of people suggesting that Winnipeg might be a good play once again. I took them -1. Other people saying that Nashville will tie it up. What do you think?
Clearly, this is a great hockey team in Winnipeg.
Mm-hmm.
But, the Predator, and Mohamed also says that he doesn't respect the depth of this hockey team. I love the depth of the Predators. I think they have way more depth than the Jets. They just don't have the top level guys that the Jets have. And so I'm not going to take the Predators here. Although, if I had a free play, I would. Mm-hmm. Or if I was forced to make a play, I would. But I just feel very uncomfortable putting my money against the Jets at home right now. And so if I get this opportunity again in Game 6, maybe I'll think differently.
Oh, no. Rod Digga says, I need a pick. I'm very low money. Okay, well, there may be other ways to get money besides picks from this show, although maybe picks from this show is also not a bad way to go about that either. What can we say? If we had to if we were going to try to get Rod Digga's money up just a teeny bit, what would we do? Would we say just a no-brainer on Pittsburgh? What would we say?
Pens puck line.
Pens puck line,
That's what I would say.
That's what you would say, Pens puck line. Okay, I would recommend taking Pens -1 just in case it's closer than expected and or it goes into OT or something like that. Someone asked us yesterday. It was Lamont Williams. It was had a bad losing morning. Asked us for a pick, and we told him Boston.
Yeah,
didn't we, Jim?
We did, and I apologize, Lamont Williams. I apologize. Man, I really thought that the Bruins were going to run roughshod. And I'm making that bet tomorrow. I think that's a play.
Yep. Okay, here we go. Chris Blanchard says Preds bounce back tonight. Okay.
Yeah, I respect Chris, great capper, and I've just been losing in the NHL.
Rod Digga explains why he needs money. He says, I need money, do not have anything to sell at yard sale.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
understandable.
I get it,
God, I love this guy, Rod Digga. I would just like to meet up with him and get some shark and have him cook some awesome shark with some unusual spices and some root vegetables. How awesome would that be,
This guy
Jim?
knows where to find the hose, man.
It would be so much fun.
Man. They'd be at yard sales.
The guy knows how to have fun in life no matter what it seems, which is, you could probably give me a lesson or 2 or 3 on that count. Dennis Garcia took Nashville in regulation.
I love it.
Love it.
Yeah, I love it. Now, I mean, just because they're a dog, I would take them because I'd still want to have the overtime ability, but I love it.
Gate Pass Key says Preds are a solid squad, but Rinne is a mental midget right now and will not play well again in the playoffs. Okay, mental midget. Too strong or appropriate?
Who's a mental midget?
Pekka Rinne.
Pekka Rinne's 35-year-old Vezina winner. I mean, I believe in this guy. I know a lot of people don't, but I think he's going to be just fine.
Gate Pass Key has labeled him a mental midget. Brent Brooks, guy you said is still continuing to do great in NHL, right,
yes.
Jim? Says Nashville comes correct tonight. And Mally Mal, I like Nashville tonight, guys. Wow. Yeah. Tomarino Tomor, I think Nashville's slightly overrated, but at plus 130 in a must-win game, I think the value is there. Rinne stepped up repeatedly last year in critical games. Okay. Tom Marino expecting Pekka Rinne to step up. Gate Pass Key expecting to Pekka Rinne to continue to be a mental midget, and that's why this comment section of these videos are so interesting and compelling. People have strong and justifiable opinions on both sides of most issues, right?
Absolutely, absolutely, and I get why people would be. I can't put my money against Winnipeg at home right now. Although I think now you guys know I did hedge my Nashville futures. I put $100 on Winnipeg at plus 700. Now if the Pens get bounced and Nashville gets bounced, I've already lost money on the Ducks. So I'm gonna lose money on my futures. But I'm scared.
And here you go, Gate Pass Key. I don't know if this is true or not, but Gate Pass Key says I was a goalie. And I know he will be fine again, but not in the near future. There is something going on in his head. That is one goalie reading another goalie.
Yeah, I think Rinne's fine. We're not talking about Hellebuck. I'd be more worried about Hellebuck. I think Hellebuck, he's young. He's never been in this situation. Here we have a goalie that's been through it. And Brent Brooks says UC Saros is nice too. I wouldn't be scared if UC Saros, had the opportunity at all.
Frank Suave says Jets game under, which is interesting. Seems like whether or not Nashville is the play or not, people have a lot of concerns about both goalies here. And I took the over in game 3 2 ways and cashed both times. I'm not so sure about this one, though.
Yeah, it just seems so easy, and we know it doesn't work like that. I mean, it does feel like the Predators at Jets, it just seems like either team can erupt for goals very quickly. So I can understand why somebody would take the over.
Tom Marino says Winnipeg is not that experienced of a team. I question if they will bring the intensity needed to basically close out a strong team. Tom Marino always with the very interesting comments and points and perspectives. Something to think about once again. Winnipeg not that experienced of a team. Is that in a situation like this in the playoffs? Is that a factor for you, Jim?
Yes, it's a huge factor. It's that they haven't done it before. Now, the only issue with the Predators' run last year was they were never behind, and when they were, they didn't beat the Penguins. They were leading and dominating every playoff series they were in. It was kind of like when the Kings just ran through everybody to win the cup. So that's my only concern. But yeah, the Jets haven't done it. The Jets haven't been there.
Mally Mal likes Nashville first period and the first period under. Cash in 20 minutes. Drunk Conversation on the other side, predicting a big blowout win and the game going over. Drunk Conversation, 5-2 Jets. Exact score.
Very concerning.
Gate Pass Key continues to give experienced, informed comments here. Gate Pass Key says, yeah, Hellebuck is younger, but his team is not nervous in front of him, even when he isn't playing well, while the Preds players are losing a comfort level with Rinne back in there. Now, Gate Pass Key says Preds players losing a comfort level with Rinne. And you would mildly disagree with that as well, Jim.
Just because he's going to win the Vezina this year, he's 35 years old. He's not a kid who I think he's going to be fine. This Winnipeg team is very scary. They're very good offensively.
PRC Publicist and Co. says, I'll be back here after Winnipeg wins the series and the West to tell you all I told you so. Well, not Mohamed Joma. Mohamed Joma will have been one of the people who was not surprised that Winnipeg won this series. Predictions guy likes the Preds also to win. And also, the predictions guy likes another over. 5-3 Preds from Predictions Guy.
I love that.
All right. Well, we have taken all the comments we possibly can on these two games. I think, Jim. Any comments you want to add, or should we move on to NHL?
Just that the Raptors are up 6 points, and I need them to take care of fucking business here. And it's now 2-2 in the Dodgers Diamondbacks game. So maybe that over 7 is not impossible.
I mean, that's the thing in MLB. Anytime you're taking an over 7, you're never a rally away from cash from getting bailed out, even in the 8th inning. You know.
I hope to, because that would put me in a really nice spot.
Yes. Okay, so once again, Jim is sticking to his guns, loving Pittsburgh on the puck line. I took Pittsburgh -1, and I'm also going to go with Winnipeg -1. Highly controversial game there. Is Pekka Rinne in a bad spot right now or not? Is Nashville a veteran team that's going to bounce back here, or are they having some mental issues? Strong opinions on both sides. People we trust on both sides. Right, Jim?
Yeah, more people are on the Jets. I get it. You know, I get it. But I just, and I don't have enough. I'm losing, and I'm not going to fade the Jets here. But goddamn, do I want the Jets to lose this game. I got the Preds at 14-1 to win the Cup.
14-1 to win the Cup. Not bad, Jim. The Nashville team total over might be worth a shot. 2.5 minus 133. There's a lot of people who are suggesting that Winnipeg might win, but that Nashville still might get over their team total over. But we can go back to this. Let's move on to NBA. Once again, the Cleveland-Toronto game started at 6 o'clock. Jim's on Toronto first period, first half, and full game. Philly-Boston, Jim, also took Philly at -4, and I'm going to pass on that game, although I would be leaning Philly team total overs in this one. Jim, you want to discuss why you like Philly in this game, -4?
I love the Celtics. I had them to take out the Bucks. Love that they stepped up in that first game. Rozier, Tatum, and Horford were incredible. Now the Sixers got punched in the mouth. I expect them to come back and punch back. I really do. So, Embiid called everybody out. The Sixers went 5 for 26 from 3. I just don't see these same things happening again. And I think the Sixers can come back and take game 2.
Okay. Jim took them at -4. It was -4, -110 earlier. There's still a couple of 4s left, but it's creeping up, mostly 4.5 market wide. The Greek actually on our main screen here is the only one that has a 4, and that is -115. Okay, let's get to some comments here in the comment section. Mally Mal likes Philly first quarter and Philly full game. There you go. Let's see other comments. Let's see. What's funny? What's funny?
Ad hoc talking about the Dragon Swallows. Larry made a very close game where the Swallows took it 7-6. But Ad hoc says variance vanquished. Fundamental principle prediction.
Okay. Tomarina Tomor says, I hate Ken Maurer, another crooked ref who always helps LeBron.
Yeah, I try not to think about those things, or it just will make it very, very difficult to enjoy the sport or gamble in the future.
Let's see. Tomarino says, I think Philly will step it up defensively, but Boston has figured out how to defend Simmons without doubling, and that's enabling them taking away the 3. I'm on Boston +4.5. Tomor on Boston +4.5.
Tomor's not a guy I want to be on the other side of, but I just feel like we're going to come back. No, I hate saying we. It's just because I've got them. I've got action on them. Getting closer to get to that over in the LA Dodgers-Arizona game, and the Raptors are up 5 with 3.5 minutes left. Gotta get that fucking cash.
Very nice. Ken Peacock asking the important question when you see a game one like we saw. 76ers were so bad in the first game, ... Were they exposed?
Yes, that is the question. I really feel like that they're not going to go 5 for 26 from 3 again. And when they go 5 for 26 from 3, they'll lose every game.
Other people were talking about the over, which I was thinking about as well. Zigzag Man likes over 206 in that game. I think I would be agreeing with that one. Justin Searcy says Philly defense has faded away. Dan Kelly likes the Celtics money line tonight. Let's see. But Tomarino thinks Philly will step up defensively. Okay, so the question is, were they exposed? No one's quite certain. Tomarino says no, thinks Philly will step it up defensively. And Justin Searcy says Philly defense has faded away.
Oh, fuck. It's hard doing this show when these games are going on. It's hard to stay focused.
Yes,
I need this money. You guys have seen how bad my last 8 days are. God damn it. Raptors are up 7. It's 4-2 in this goddamn baseball game. I need a push.
Wow. Things picking up. Jim had some nice luck over the past couple of minutes. Very nice to hear that, Jim. We can take a little bit of time to do some Derby preview if you want, even though it's not in the segments here.
Oh, Todd Raymond says inside info from the refs. Philly -4.
Okay.
And my man here, Logical Thoughts, has sent me an email. Because I was interested in these scripted games.
Yes.
Now I had to focus so much on the Derby, I haven't fully dove into the scripted stuff. But I'm interested. I'm all ears.
And you won't believe this, Jim. Native Queen's coming with another comment. You'll never believe it. Don't look at it. You probably already saw it.
I have not seen it.
Unbelievable. You'll never believe this. This will blow your mind, even from Native Queen. Comment from Native Queen: Cavs may sweep Toronto.
Oh, come on.
Wow. Despite coming Despite coming straight from the Oracle, Jim not buying that opinion. Native Queen says Cavs may, not predicting it, but saying there's a real legit possibility Cavs may sweep Toronto. That is Native Queen. All right. Okay. Scotty Rock.
I just pushed the baseball game.
Mm-hmm. Ah, very nice, very nice, very nice.
And I want more.
Okay, let's see. Scotty Rock Forever says, "Calm down at Native Queen." Thinks Native Queen is whacked out of her mind for even making a comment like that. Jeffrey Hernandez, here you go. Jeffrey Hernandez says, "NBA won't let a sweep happen. If they if the Cavs get up 3-zip."
Fuck the NBA. The Raptors aren't gonna let the fucking sweep happen. Come on.
Mm-hmm. Richard West says, "Cavs aren't sweeping. No chance." Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Let's see. Dan Kelly liking Boston on the home dog line tonight as well on the money line.
Now Dan's just fucking with me.
Oh, he is.
Cavs may sweep Toronto.
No. He said before that he was talking about Boston. He was saying that.
No, I'm reading it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Kelly, Cavs may sweep Toronto. I know he's just fucking with me.
Mm-hmm.
I know he wants to see me dry heave some more. I know you're fucking with me now, Dan. I know that. We're friends. And I know you want to see me dry heave some more.
Ad hoc says the 76ers were overconfident and lackadaisical on defense, which can happen easily in game one of NBA playoffs when you have a road favorite like that. Question is, why has the total dropped from the opener? And I don't know, Ad hoc. I would be leaning over, as would some other people in the comment section here. Jake Holden says, "My wife has recommended we go to couples counseling because I yelled Loshak in the Bag is the best show during sex last night."
Nice.
Jake Holden. Nice. Welcome to the family, Jake Holden. Thank you so much for letting us know that.
That doesn't make me dry heave at all.
That makes me so happy.
I'm happy you and your wife are still having sex too.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Keep up the good work, both of you.
See. Okay. All right.
Tomore says, "I saw Philadelphia was plus 160 to win the East before they lost game one.
Mm-hmm.
That to me says they are likely overvalued. How can this young team be plus 160 when they're only in the second round?" Well, and interesting point, and we talked about before the playoffs started the value on the Sixers to win the East at that time. What it was like plus 540 or something.
What?
I can't remember the Sixers to win the East.
Oh yeah, I don't remember those exact numbers.
It was a juicy play because we said there was no value on the Raptors. There was maybe a tiny bit of value on the Cavs, and there was definite value on the Sixers. And man, I can tell you what, I'm in the money today.
Very nice,
Jim. I want more of it, and I need the Raptors to cover this first quarter.
It is true that the total has gotten bet down in Boston, Philly. I was seeing an opening of 207. When I looked at the game, it was 206. And now it's down to 205 and 205.5, which I agree has me scratching my head a little bit. I'm not going to make a play on this one. I'm not going to make a bet on it. I am going to look at the second half. I would be leaning to the over. And maybe if the show is still going at the second half during the Cleveland and Toronto game, I'll give a second half play live on that one. Perhaps I did have in the last game, I had the third quarter and the second half under. Third quarter did cash. Second half under would have cashed except for OT. But we'll see how this first half goes. Hopefully Jim will get a casher on the first half as well as the first quarter. Jim, we pretty much covered everything. We've covered NBA. We've covered NHL. We've covered MLB. We've still got a half an hour to go that we can burn up here. I guess first let's just quickly mention two things. BetMania. Once again, if you'd like to sign up with BetMania, please use the description box in the link in the description box below this video. And also, of course, once again, we are soldiering on with this Twitter experiment in these videos, and you can send a tweet to that hashtag at any time during the day or night. It doesn't have to be during our show, of course. And the hashtag for that is GetThatCash. Tweet at SBR Sportspicks, and if social media deems it worthy. If they deem it worthy, we will address it live in one of our shows. Today we have no tweets, so we're not going to do a Twitter segment in today's show, but we are going to soldier on with this experiment, and feel free to tweet. Once again, that is hashtag GetThatCash to be addressed live in the show. What else do we want to discuss here, Jim?
Well, I definitely talk about the Derby for a second.
Yeah.
I also am curious to hear what people have to say about Game 2 of the Jays Indians after this offensive explosion. I only have the Indians team total over, and I'd be very curious to hear. God damn, DeLong Wright just missed a 2-pointer. But why don't we just do a quick chat about the Derby?
Yeah, let's do a quick chat about that. Let me start it off by asking you a couple questions, all
Sure.
right, Jim? Now, you might not know this, but the first thing I ever started handicapping was the horses in my life, and I covered the Triple Crown every year at SBR since I've been here. This year, I'm not going to do it just because, obviously, you're going to be the expert here. But as I've said, Jim, my favorite way to bet the Triple Crown races is matchup props. Now, I'm sure you've been looking at who's going to win and exactas and all this and everything. But one thing I love to do in Triple Crown races is just identify a horse that might be a little bit overvalued. If it's matched up against a horse that might be a little bit undervalued, and you have a great play on a matchup prop there. In the entire field, what are the first two horses that come to mind when I ask you which horses do you think might be a little bit, just in general, overvalued or overrated right now? And what are the first two horses that come to mind if I were to ask you which two horses do you think might be a little bit underrated or undervalued right now?
Let's go with, the problem is that Justify probably shouldn't be a 3-1, and he's so gorgeous that I think he ends up at 5-2. So
I'll tell you this, in matchup props in the Derby, especially the Derby, I tend to shy away with matchup props involving the favorite, you know?
That is a good idea.
Yeah.
That is a good idea.
I like more mid-range horses. Finding the mid-range horses that might be a little bit over or undervalued if they're matched up against each other, pounce.
Okay, well, first off, now no winner of the Wood Memorial out of Belmont has won the Derby since 2000. In fact, the last few years, New York bred horses have just not been as good as the others. Vino Rosso is a special horse. I think the two horses with the most value are Hofburg and Vino Rosso.
Hofburg and Vino Rosso.
Hofburg is at 20-1 right now, and they're special horses. Now with Hofburg, he only has 3 races under his belt. He's got arguably the best jockey in the world, Irad Ortiz, on him. Hall of Famer Bill Mott training him. He came second in the Florida Derby. He started out 15 lengths back. He's the son of Tappet. Tappet horses are monsters. He's talented, great breeding, great connections, very capable of running the best race of his life. His high buyer is 94. If he runs a 94, he'll come 7th or 8th. But he's improved every race, and he will continue to improve. Hofburg is a very special horse. Now, the Bob Baffert obviously is the best trainer in the game, but anyone will tell you right now, Todd Pletcher is the monster on the scene. He's got 4 horses in the Derby. So Todd Pletcher and Johnny Velasquez. Johnny Velasquez is his favorite jockey. This combination won last year's Derby with Always Dreaming. They won it. Johnny Velasquez could have picked any of Todd Pletcher's 4 horses, and he picked Vino Rosso. There's a ton of value with Vino Rosso. He was given a 98 buyer in the Wood Memorial. He came from 9 lengths back. He handles traffic. He handles bumping. He just came to Churchill on April 27th. He ran the fastest of 75 horses at the 4 furlong distance, 47-1. He ran a bullet just to show everybody, I'm ready to run. He's dangerous. He's developing, getting better each race, and clearly he's a 1.25 mile horse. Oh, it hit? Oh, I was scared to look.
No, I'll check. Don't worry. Okay. I got it for you, Jim. I got it for you, Jim. It's looking good. Just cover the Derby. So we got 2 undervalued horses, Hofburg and Vino Rosso, and now we're looking maybe from the middle of the pack, 1 or 2 overvalued horses you might think might be a little bit overvalued.
Now this is upset. This will upset people, but I don't think that Audible is capable of running this length.
Okay, yes, you hit it. They won by 3. And Native Queen got a push on the total, landed right on 55. Okay.
Oh, damn, I need that fucking money. Shit. It's been a bad 8 days. Get the fucking money!
All right, there you go. This is what sports betting is all about, live on TV here at the internet, sportsbookreview.com. All right, Jim. So overvalued, you would say, is Audible.
Now, Audible will probably be the 4th highest favorite horse. He's run back-to-back 99 buyers. And there's people just questioning if he's able to ride this distance. Now, also, a huge point here is that if Johnny Velasquez wanted to, he could have he could have been on Audible. That is the most important thing here. He chose Vino Rosso. And that to me says Audible is overvalued and Vino Rosso is undervalued. That's the main thing there to me, is that he's overvalued. So that's now he's going to be the fourth favorite, and Audible's looked awesome. And he's got excellent turn of foot. He's looked awesome. But and then there's a ton of people wanting to know about Mendelssohn. Listen, okay, first off, any horse that wins the UAE Derby in Dubai comes over to Kentucky Derby, I put a line right through it.
Right. I think that those are overvalued horses, any UAB Derby horses.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what Mendelssohn did in that UAE Derby, I've never seen anyone do. You know, he won by 18.5 lengths. It was gorgeous. Now, they don't use Beyer figures over there, but we ranked, we believed in what in the time, in the clock and everything. So we gave him a 106 Beyer. That's very, very impressive. Listen, if Mendelssohn had to come to the track 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago, I would be big on him. But he came on Tuesday, and he was in quarantine for 2 days. Today was the first day he touched the track. They call him a cantankerous horse. He lets out these grunts. He's a beast. Now, both Cantankerous and Justify are sons of Scat Daddy. So, listen, Mendelssohn had run on turf his whole life. So, he won the juvenile turf at the Breeders' Cup this year. I watched that race again yesterday. He was stuck on the fence. As soon as there was a hole, he pounced and won that race easily. He runs his first ever race on dirt and is unbelievable, wins by 18.5 lengths. So,
here's a curious comment. What the Mark Lewis? You see this one, Jim?
No.
Loshak in the bag, don't know shit. Cash me outside. How about that? Cash me outside. I want to take this outside. Mark Lewis, what the fuck is that? Mark Lewis says Loshak in the bag, don't know shit. Cash me outside. How about that? Who the fuck are you, Mark Lewis? What I said. Who the fuck are you, Mark Lewis? You want to take this outside?
Come down to
Who the fuck is this?
Or meet us in Vegas.
Who the fuck is this? Mark Lewis, Loshak in the bag, don't know shit. Apropos of what? In the middle of a derby? If there's one thing Jimmy definitely knows that no one would disagree with, it's horses.
And
Who the fuck is this?
Oh, yeah, I don't care about Mark Lewis.
Who the fuck is Mark Lewis? No, it bothered me. It bothered me. We're sitting here. It's kind of a chilled out show because there's fewer games. And all of a sudden I look up and I have to see this bullshit. Loshak in the bag, don't know shit. The fuck was that?
Oh, respect,
The
man.
fuck was that?
Respect, man.
All right. Let's get back to it. And the only reason I was staring so hard at that comment is because right above it was a great comment from Jeffrey Hernandez saying it's going to rain on Saturday at Churchill Downs. I didn't even think about asking about the weather. Is that true?
It's questionable. Let me get because it was questionable when I was looking at it. Let me just get a quick look at it. But Ad Hoc says Mendelssohn travels well, and that's what they've been saying. They've been saying he always comes to each new park 4 days or 5 days before the race, and he's totally used to it and all that stuff. Still, I find it very, very difficult to trust that. Ace Farmer's been loving Good Magic, and I don't think that Good Magic is even in the top 3 in this race. Now, his Bluegrass Stakes race that he just run is just not fast enough. He received a 95 Beyer. He'll have to keep improving. He lost to Promises Fulfilled in the Fountain of Youth as a huge favorite. The champion 2-year-old almost never wins the Derby. But yeah, he'll like 10 furlongs, and you're going to get a nice line on him at 12-1. James Stacey says they know what they're doing. Aidan O'Brien, genius. Supposedly, there was a bunch of mishaps that caused him to come on Tuesday. And they wanted him to come a few days earlier, but there was a bunch of shit going on.
Now, look at this. T. Leung. Do you know who this guy is? T. Leung?
No.
He says, staying late at work so I can catch this live and not on replay. Hashtag Loshak in the bag know their shit.
Oh, there we go.
I love you, T. Leung. Already, I love you, T. Leung. Thank you so much. What a great... I'm going to cry from that comment, too. As people know, I'm very close on the borderline of crying when I read some of these wonderful comments. Thank you so much, T. Leung.
Ace wants to talk about Good Magic's pedigree. I have it all right here. So there are horses in this field with unbelievable pedigree, obviously. And having Scat Daddy as a dad or having Tappet as a dad is great. And so having Curlin as a dad, as Good Magic has, is wonderful. He's going to rally from mid-pack. In both of his 3-year-old starts, he was forced to rally into slow fractions. So it's obviously we're going to get a real pace in this race, which is great. Promises Fulfilled will give us a real pace. That will allow the horses that stalk the pace and who come late to pass a lot of tired horses. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, and we know that Curlin finished third in the Derby, but had traffic problems. Probably should have won, and then won the Preakness. So yeah, Curlin is a dad, maybe better than Scat Daddy, maybe. I mean, if you look at Good Magic, cost $1 million as a yearling. Only Mendelssohn in this field was more expensive, I believe. Mendelssohn was $3 million. Justify was $500,000. So Good Magic is a really good horse. Now, what happened to him in the Fountain of Youth? Well, let's say, because the best thing you can do when you're capping a horse race is give excuses for a horse. Now, it's a little different here when you're dealing with the best horses in the world, because there's not a lot of excuses needed. But when you're dealing with weaker horses, you want to find an excuse. So you can give him the excuse here. Gulfstream Park, he hadn't run in 4 months. He needed a refresher. He was 3 wide the whole time. Listen, Ace, getting Good Magic at 12-1 is great. It's great. But in that juvenile Grade 1 Breeders' Cup race, if Bolt d'Oro was in a better spot, he would have won that race. Good Magic's highest buyer is 100. Justifies throwing 107s off in his sleep. Now, you're going to get 12-1. And you might even get more. You might even get 13, 14-1. So there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not going to talk you off of Good Magic, because you're going to get tons of value. And you shouldn't be talked off of a double-digit horse ever. And so I think you got a nice spot for Good Magic. And when we come back here on Monday, I do not think he will be the winner. And he's training okay over there. He's training okay at Churchill Downs. And, here, this guy, a lot of guys like Good Magic, so this guy likes him. This guy says he's going to win it, says the one to beat. So you're going to get great odds.
Okay, so once again, I asked you for 2 undervalued horses. You identified Hofburg and Vino Rosso. Overvalued, I've only got Audible. Is there another one you want to add?
For overvalued, yeah, let's break it down here. Overvalued.
Because what I'm looking for is matchup props. Now, I love handicapping Derby. The reason I didn't, and I usually do very well with it, the reason I didn't do it this year is because it does take a hell of a lot of time. There's a lot of work involved in, especially if you haven't been following horses closely the entire year. Also, the matchup props are not out yet. You know what I mean? So they usually come out, the day of the race. So we don't know, what the odds will be for some of these. But in general, I like to have, especially for the Derby, 2 or 3 horses that I'm looking vaguely to fade or bet on in matchup props. And if they're matched up against each other, that's even better. What else would you say? What other horse would you put into either of these categories?
How about this? I think that you could find a ton of value in matchup props with My Boy Jack.
Yes. Dennis Garcia says Magnum Moon is overvalued. Would you agree with that?
I would, but an undefeated horse like Magnum Moon is dangerous. I would. I think that's a really good call. That Audible and Magnum Moon maybe a little overrated. There was a very slow pace in the Arkansas Derby, and he still drifted way out in the stretch, showing how green he is.
Moki Ball says, "Oh man, Loshak looks like a crazy drunk bum ranting about the world ending." Ha ha ha. Moki Balls, I can tell you a thing or two about the end of the world if you ever want to know. We can talk about that. We can put a fucking segment right up on the screen, and I'll talk about end of the world if anyone's interested.
Please, yeah, I'm interested. Jeffrey
Go ahead,
Fernandez.
Jim. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
No worries. I think you guys might be right with Magnum Moon. He might be, got a 98 buyer in the Arkansas Derby, 97 buyer in the Rebel Stakes. The scary thing with Magnum Moon, though, 4 for 4, is only raced as a 3-year-old. We're just scratching the surface of Magnum Moon. The issue, Jeffrey Hernandez saying, promised fulfilled, great value. See, you just don't gate to wire the Derby.
Yeah, right.
That's
well, you need
problem.
a trip, and that's the other reason you need a good trip.
You do, and War Emblem was the last one to do it. So we've had one horse since 2000 to gate to wire the Derby. So promises fulfilled. I expect what happened in the Florida Derby when he led for the first half of the race and just kind of stopped to happen again for him. Yes, he fired a nice training run, but I'd be very concerned. If you so he's a 30-1 horse. I think Flame Away actually has got a little bit more value than Promises Fulfilled at 31. But if you want a 30-1 horse that could end up 5th or 6th, is my boy Jack.
So you think My Boy Jack might be a good category, a good candidate for the undervalued category?
Yeah. So when we look at the matchup props, I would take My Boy Jack to beat Promises Fulfilled.
Actually, these commenters know their shit. Someone said that Bookmaker already has matchup props up, and I'm seeing that they do. They're 30-cent lines, but we do already have matchup props up. They're 30-cent lines. Heritage should have 20-cent lines when they come out with theirs. They'll be sharper though. Okay, interesting.
All right.
Here we go. And here you go. My Boy Jack matched up against Audible. My Boy Jack plus 144. Audible minus 184.
Yeah, that you can't. Even though Audible is overvalued, we're talking about a horse that's 8-1 to a horse that's 30-1. That's not a fair matchup for My Boy Jack. It's just not fair. So I'd be now. I mean, it's not a bad play, but I'd be very uncomfortable.
How about Bolt Doro over Audible? Bolt Doro minus 125.
Bolt Doro is just this classy, battle-tested horse. So are they each minus 125?
No, it's Audible's minus 104.
Wow. Wow. So Bolt Doro's favored over Audible.
Yes.
This is nuts.
It's nuts.
Well, yeah, I mean, because Audible's going to go off way lower odds than Bolt Doro. I mean, the morning line's 8-1 for Audible. And what is it for Bolt Doro? They're both at 8-1. Wow. There's no doubt that I would trust Bolt Doro, trust them over Audible. But yeah, I think that, the way Justify ran away from Bolt Doro. Now, you want to catch a horse the third race off of a training cycle. And that's why Bolt Doro's trainers were like, it doesn't matter if Justify beats us. We're setting this horse up to run his fastest in the Derby. So I think that Bolt Doro, he's a battle-tested horse. So I think I would probably take Bolt Doro over Audible.
How about this? I see Hofburg matched up against Magnum Moon. Hofburg plus 109. To beat Magnum Moon.
Yeah, we got to find better lines in this. I mean, Hofburg is at 20-1. Magnum Moon's at 6-1.
Okay,
so that's just not fair. You should be getting a way bigger number on Hofburg.
Maybe they know maybe they know the way people are going to be leaning, and Bookmaker is smart. Not easy to beat Bookmaker odds here. These are also very early odds, which is why the juice is so high. But Bookmaker ain't no fools over there.
No, and Dennis Garcia is right. The Bolt's 102 buyer better than anything Audible has ever done, among other reasons. Yeah, I would definitely trust Bolt over Audible in this situation. Definitely. Definitely.
Okay, so I'm just spitting out some of these lines here, some of these odds here.
Yeah, let's get more.
Seems like there's tons of them. Seems like Bookmaker is pretty hip to what you might have been suggesting, Jim, and that we're not actually seeing that much value as of right now with some of the matchup props with some of the horses that you suggested might be undervalued.
Yeah, when you're dealing with these books, like, for instance, Mendelssohn, his part owner is Michael Tabor. Do you know Michael Tabor? So Michael Tabor is going to bet, what, 500 grand on Mendelssohn? And he'll do that at the Derby because Mendelssohn's been in Europe for the whole year. So you'll get a way better line on Mendelssohn at the racetrack than you will do from a European book.
Yeah.
So we'll deal with that, and it'll be huge when we get to the Breeders' Cup, when the European horses come over, and then you'll find the best way to take them. Oh shit, what's going on? Score? Yeah. So I think this is extremely exciting. And now that the matchup props are out, I hope they'll be out on all the sites so we can really find the best ones. But yeah, I'm surprised that they're giving that much value to the horses that I think are undervalued. This is going to be very exciting. Hofburg's capable of running his best race.
Rez Mob says, huge no homo love to the dynamic duo. Loshak in the bag. Thanks for the shout out yesterday. Shout out to Rez Mob.
Yeah,
shout out to Rez Mob. Absolutely
you,
love you back. Definitely homo, Rez Mob. Absolutely, Rez Mob. Thank you so much for that awesome comment. Man, I love those that fucking comments, man. Whew. Whew. All right. Did I just say I just yelled out definitely homo, right?
Yeah,
I didn't mean that literally. You know what I meant. All right, Jim. We are
Raps are up 8 fucking points.
Mm-hmm.
God, man.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to come back tomorrow and I'm going to be up a couple grand. I mean, obviously you guys have seen I'm down about $4 grand in the last 8 days, but you can get that shit back fast, and I plan to get it back fast tonight. Arthur Meade Jr. talking about the Oaks. My schedule is so tight. I'm fucking burning out, man. I wake up. I used to wake up at 3:45. I've cut 15 minutes back. Waking up at 4 in the morning. I cap all the sports games and then I try to spend time in the afternoon. So I decided just to leave the Oaks alone. Focus all my attention on the Derby. Now that the Derby is pretty much capped, I may put some time into the Oaks tomorrow. But I just did not get enough time.
Mr. Gokster 99 asking about Vino Rosso Audible. I don't know if I mentioned that, but that is up. Vino Rosso is plus 135 against Audible. Audible minus 165.
I like that. I think that's a nice play. I like that. I definitely like that.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a homeless lock from Goose.
Okay.
Oh shit!
All right.
Homeless lock from Goose.
Where is it?
Oh my God, a homeless lock from Goose. Pens and Angels, two team money line parlay, and Pens, Indians, Angels, 3-team money line parlay for half a unit. Homeless lock.
Okay.
Parlays, book it.
All right. And I think on that note, we could even wrap this up. Is there anything else you want to add, Jim?
Just that Mark Lewis said Loshak and with the Derby, I need a. Now he's back. Now he's our friend.
Now he's our friend. Thank you very much, Mark Lewis. Let's not take this outside. Let's not. Don't cash me anywhere, Mark Lewis, and definitely don't cash me outside. Let's just be friends. And great to have you. Welcome to the Loshak in the Bag Show comment section family. Mark Lewis. We do our best here. This is mostly for entertainment purposes, but some people do make money doing this, and we have a hell of a lot of fun while trying. Right, Jim?
Yeah, we love you guys. We love the great cappers that we get to work with every day. And today is looking like a nice day. Now, that can change quickly, but today is looking like a nice day.
Okay. Kobe Valentine says, who is this Mark Lewis lunatic? Yeah, I don't know. I like him. He's growing on me. After just a few minutes of being a brand new commenter in our show. All right, anything else we want to get to before we wrap it up? We can wrap this up a little bit early just because I'm tired. There's not that much to look at. And, of course, we have a full slate of MLB tomorrow. I'm feeling pretty good about myself that the afternoon games went so well for me, Jim.
Yeah, they've gone very, very well for you, and this is great. This is great, man. I've had a tough run, so let's get some fucking winners. If I could, God, this Raptors thing, the game is so close, still 6 points. Yeah, and I got minus four and a half.
4.5. Yes.
Now they got fucking Van Fleet 9-point fucking lead.
Nice.
Oh god damn, this is good.
Very,
and Kobe Valentine saying Raptors in 6. Good thing I don't need to gag. Oh, but we do. We do have one last thing to end the show on.
Yes?
Yes, we have Larry's Play of Tomorrow.
Okay.
Larry's Play of Tomorrow coming in right now.
Let's make some room.
Larry's Play of Tomorrow.
Now, this is not quite like when Native Queen makes an appearance, but, we still get excited anyway.
Guys, the fucking Swallows fucked me up. They fucked me up.
They did?
But I've got the Bruins tomorrow.
Nice.
Fucking puck line.
Puck line Bruins.
Take them.
Puck lines Bruins. That's plus 195, I believe.
Take them, guys.
Okay.
Wow. Larry is spoken.
And on that note, we can end this show. We'll see you tomorrow at 12 o'clock Eastern time, everyone. Thanks so much.